Guys, welcome back. I miss you guys. Even though I haven't really been away, but we here. We started off with Greenland Migration. That's right, the follow-up of the former film, Greenland, starring Gerard Butler, Marina Baccarin, directed by Rick Roman, who also directed the previous film and this film. Also, he directed movies like Angel Has Fallen, produced film with Jason Statham called Shelter, so I do want to see because I love Jason Statham. Anywho, I am excited to talk about this film straight off the bat. Give this film, I told people 8 out of 10, but I'll give this movie 8.7 out of 10. Reason being, because not many films show you a follow-up of a disaster. We kind of got a glimpse back in the 90s with Deep Impact with Morgan Freeman and Elijah Wood, but we didn't really grasp the follow-up and the follow-through of what happens when a disaster happens, especially something like a meteor, the size of what happened in the first one, the meteor called Clark. Yeah, it was Clark. And so we got to see that, and being able to see that, you see how humans interact with one another. You see how nature interacts with humans. And I think that's a great way to talk about and deal with in a sequel. Sequels don't necessarily have to just outdo the first, but they do have to accent the first. And I think that this film accented the first film just right, with the right amount of essence. It wasn't a long drawn out movie. It got straight to the point. You saw and you enjoyed and you endured. There were many great performances in this film. Gerard Butler did great. Marina, she did great in this film. A lot of the cast did great. Some even smaller characters that just popped up, but even they had a point where man, you wanted to cry with them. You wanted to be sad for them, and you wanted them to live, but they didn't live. So therefore, I really want to say I enjoyed this film. Me and my family enjoyed this film. My wife, however, I wanted her to come and do this review with me, but she's a little sad about certain parts of the film, so I'm not going to talk about that because I'm not going to spoil this film seeing that it just came out. But I will have to say that this was a great film. 8.7 out of 10. I'm going to stick with that, and it was great. Gerard Butler did great. Rick, he did amazing. I'm in awe. It was great. It was a great follow-up. Great action sequences, great special effects. Everything fit. Everything happened in its right place. And I think, again, it's great to see what happens after something happens. We see a big meteor come. We see the fallout of civilization because it's coming, and then we just drop it. But no, to see something happen afterwards, how are militias forming after devastation? How do we interact with nature? When certain things come about, how do we work around that? How do we deal with that? I think that this film explained that and dealt with that properly, and I really do. I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, because I'm adopting this thing where whether I see a movie in film theaters or I see it at home streaming, one of the things I do try to adapt and adopt to my psyche as a filmmaker and as a writer is that eyes wide open, because just because something doesn't look that good doesn't mean it won't be good. So I was hoping,